Hey there, I'm Douglas from Draftbit. In today's video, we'll explore the icon button component. This component is ideal for interactive buttons with icons only, which can trigger actions when pressed. Let's go through each step to get it set up and customized. Let's start by adding the icon button component to the screen. So go ahead to your component picker, click add, then you're going to search for the icon button. Once it's added, the first step that we want to do is choose an icon that we want to display. So how do we do that? We click the icon button, we go to data, then here where it says icon, we click this icon, and then we can choose our icon. So I want this, and as you can see in a few moments, it gets applied. So here in the icon, in the icon property, we can select many icons from all these different libraries. So we can select from Ant Design, Evo icons, Feather icons, Font Awesome. The list is endless, right? So you can come in here and you can pick any icon that you want. And for whatever case you find that that icon is not available, this also accepts custom icons where you can come in and then you can just enter the name of that icon and it gets imported. Then up next, let's look at the configuration properties. First up, we have the component name. So this is the name as it appears in the component tree. It helps us to be able to identify it when we have, lots of components in here. We can easily be able to identify it. So right now it says icon button. We can just say, we can just say icon button co-center. I know it's a long name, but I think you get the idea. And then here in our component tree, it gets renamed. Then up next, we have hit slope. So right now when we click, we're clicking directly onto the button. So hit slope, you're just specifying the radius that you want to be clickable. So if the more we increase this, the more area we're going to be able to click it. Then I guess the most important part is the interactions. So we have on press and on long press. So on press, this runs when the element is pressed. So if you come here and you press this, right, the on press runs. Then if you come here and you long press, then the on long press runs. So yeah, let's test that out. Let's have some console logs. So on press, so it opens our action editor, and what I just want to do is I want to console log. So here I'm just going to say on or button pressed, right? Very simple. So when I click the button, it's going to run this console log and say button pressed. But the most important point here is you can replace this with whatever you want to do. So maybe you want to save a form to the database. So this is where you put that logic. Maybe you want to perform a certain action. So in here, there are many actions that you can perform. You can open an image picker. You can select a file. You can show an alert, right? You can do many things. You can navigate. So the list is endless, but for now, we're just going to console log. Then up next, we have on long pressed. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to console log that. Then here, we're going to say long press. Then what we want to do next, we want to open our console log. So make sure here on device preview, you're on web preview. Then we're going to open the console log. And the first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to press our button, right? So we're just going to press it and you're going to see it says button pressed. So this on press was triggered and it ran that console log that we created. Now I'm going to long press it, right? So, right, and then it tells you long press. So yeah, that's how you handle these interactions inside Draftbit. Then next up, let's look at the styles. So we come here on styles. Then we have component specific, which is the color. So here we can play around with the color. We can say I want red, and that's going to change the icon to red. We can play around with the size. So I can just say I want 50. Then that's going to make it a bit bigger. Right, so we can play around with all of that. Yeah, then we also have these, styles that just come along with most Draftbit components: margin, effect, position, overrides. Yeah, and then one thing that I didn't touch upon is disabled. So if we come back to data, there's this disabled flag. So if we just come in here and then we just say true, you notice our button gets disabled. So before, when we're clicking and getting these, so right now when I now press, I no longer get the button has been pressed or button has been long pressed because we've now disabled the button. So that means the button no longer works. And yeah, with that, I think that's it for this component. Please leave a comment on what videos you'd like us to do more in the future. If you have any questions, please like the video, share it, please subscribe, and see you in the next one.